What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to another Fridge Financials video. In today's video, we are looking into this article posted by Yahoo Finance and what I think could be a very good stock to get into that can fight artificial intelligence. So if you're excited for today's video, as always, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, turn on the bell notifications for all future uploads. So this article came across my feed a couple hours ago here about AI can't install an HVAC system and why Gen Z is flocking to jobs in the trades. And the thought process behind this is that, as we know right now, the labor market is not doing too hot. And with that being said, Jerome Powell said there's serious consideration for rate cuts in September. And the big worry that people are having, myself included, is with AI taking more and more jobs every single week, every single month, it's going to be harder for employment to start to rebound as a result. So this article is talking about how Gen Z might be looking to get jobs in the trade industry, which is why this is quote unquote saying artificial intelligence can't install an HVAC system, which is those hands-on kind of jobs. They could answer phones for people, they could do a lot of different calculations for people and run numbers, but they can't physically install HVAC systems here. So enrollment at trade schools is expected to grow 6.6% a year for programs like HVAC and welding. And let me tell you, there's one stock on my list that now I'm starting to think about getting into a leap option with. So stay tuned throughout this whole video to see what stock we are talking about here. But let's get right into it. As AI threatens white-collar workers and hits some college graduates looking for entry-level roles, young people are pouring into blue-collar training programs. Before the pandemic, the trade school market had been largely stagnant, according to a March report from the higher education marketing and research firm Validated Insights. Now, fall enrollment at trade schools is expected to grow 6.6% a year. So going basically from pre-pandemic, not really moving much, people weren't really thinking about going to trade schools and stuff like that, but now it seems like there's a huge demand for people wanting to go into trade schools now, and they are starting to hopefully, take those benefits there. There's nothing wrong with blue collar. There's nothing wrong with getting your hands a little dirty and sweating a little bit and making a little bit of money in the process, said Dave Rames, Senior Product Manager at Media, a producer of major home appliances like air conditioners and fridges that has teamed up with more than a dozen trade schools to help train upcoming HVAC technicians. If you're not familiar with what HVAC is, it stands for heating, ventilation, air conditioning. Basically, you want heat in your home, you want air conditioning in your home, you want those kind of things. These are the guys that help you install it. We don't have to worry about AI because AI can install an HVAC system, and that is 100% a very true statement here, right? AI can do all the calculations behind the scenes, they can run the numbers, they can do as many things as they want to on how to optimize productivity, but at the end of the day, they can't come to your house and put in that new, air conditioning system, put in that new heating system. They can't come in and weld for you. They can't come in and do wiring for you. The hands-on jobs AI cannot do. And people that are going to sit there and say, well, Elon Musk and, looking at, the Tesla robotics and Optimus and all of that could do it. We're not even close to that. If I was to guess, you'd be looking at least 10, 20 years down the road before those even have any sort of chance of having robots come to your house and install stuff for you. And I think that's even me making up just a number here. It's probably going to take a lot longer than that to have people replaced with robots to come install things at your house. Can you replace somebody that's a receptionist at an office with AI? Of course you can, because they can answer phones nowadays. They can run numbers for you. They can do payroll. That there's so many things that AI can do, but hands-on jobs that require things like trade school certifications are not one of them. Trade schools are just one option for people looking to get into work like welding, plumbing, and HVAC installation. Enrollment at public two-year community college programs focused on vocational and trade programs has surged nearly 20% since 2020, compared to a 2.1% increase at a public four-year institutions. That is crazy to think about, actually. That is telling me that a lot more people are going to those trade schools instead of going to those public four-year institutions, which you're getting your finance degrees in, your business degrees, economics, those kind of jobs. People are starting to go to trade schools now, more enrolled more in than the actual public colleges that you're looking at here. Really, really interesting stuff. And registered apprenticeships where trainees can earn money while they learn have similarly been on the rise for the last several years. What's more, wages in the trades can be comparable to some fields that require a 4-year degree without the average student loan debt of nearly $43,000. Let's take a look at these numbers here. Last year, the median annual pay for HVAC technicians was nearly $60,000, just below the median wages for all other workers. So basically just about that, and about the same as the 2023 median annual salary for someone with a degree in liberal arts. The highest paid 10% of HVAC earns more than $91,000 a year. And again, these trade schools take, 2 years to get your certifications in. Then you can get into internships, then you can work your way up to an apprentice. Then you can become your own boss essentially over time and climb the ranks and everything else. And again, that's why they're saying it takes a lot less student loan debt, essentially. You still got to take out maybe debt to go to trade school, but 2 years versus 4 years, obviously we could do the math on that one, is going to save you a lot of money. And because there's a shortage of HVAC workers and high demand for those services, the price for HVAC contractors has risen greatly. Again, supply and demand. If you're an HVAC technician, you know there's a shortage of people in your area. You can charge the rate whatever it is you want because people are going to need heating. People are going to need air conditioning. You can't really have a sustainable life of living in your home, in your apartment, wherever, if you don't have the heating and air conditioning. So very high demand, very low supply of workers that do it means you can kind of have that pricing that you can really set up here, which is really, really good for an HVAC contractor, right? That's not the only trade that can pay well, especially depending on the number of hours worked and years of experience gained. Rames noted that after working in the plumbing industry, his son had $55,000 excess cash to park in long-term investments at 22 years old. Man, that is crazy. When I tell these kids their stories, their eyes get huge. Because why wouldn't they? I mean, you kidding me? 55,000 extra at 22 is insane. In a 1,000-person survey from Zeddy, an online resume template service, more than half of the Gen Z workers said they are seriously considering a blue-collar or skilled trade fields. AI, as well as blue-collar jobs, pay, and opportunities, factored into their thinking. So again, if AI is taking a lot of jobs, companies aren't hiring as many workers to work for them because they can just do AI to do it instead. So where can they start moving to? Well, where is their job opportunities? Trade schools, welding, electricians, those things that are hands-on that require physical labor, those are the jobs you cannot replace with AI. AI is a computing system, it's software. You can't put that physically onto a physical field like HVAC technicians, right? Jasmine Escalera, a career expert at Zeddy, sees this shit as part of an overall AI anxiety pivot. That's funny. That's actually pretty good there, Jasmine. Very nice. Where young people are rethinking their careers and whether a degree is worthwhile. She noted that on top of fears about AI replacing entry-level positions, young people may also be less interested in climbing the corporate ladder and eager to avoid the woes of the jobless college grads they see on social media. Again, it is very hard right now for college grads to find jobs. I believe there was some article that came out recently talking about how high the unemployment is for recent college grads, and it's pretty high because, again, you don't need to hire people if you can just have AI do it for you at a cheaper cost. Why would you need to? When it comes to the safe job that will always exist, I don't know if there are many of those anymore. I think a lot of positions are going to be changed due to AI. Whether they will completely disappear, we don't obviously know, but Gen Z workers may now wonder why they should go into debt for a bachelor's degree to join careers that may look drastically different several years from now thanks to technological advances. Basically, why should I go into debt for a degree where I may lose my job to AI or to some sort of robot in the next 5-10 years? Why take on thousands and thousands of debt? What feels more certain? Plumbers will always have jobs. Plumbers have always had jobs anyways, as an example, because no one likes to play around with that kind of stuff for a living usually. You have to basically be someone who's really willing to get their hands really dirty in septic systems and sewage and that kind of stuff to have a job as a plumber. Very, very low amount of people want to do that. So plumbers are still going to be high in demand, right? In your bathrooms, in public systems, like those kind of things, you will always need to have a plumber. So makes sense. A paper this month from Stanford University researchers found there have already been substantial declines in employment for early career workers in occupations mostly exposed to AI, like software engineers, while employment trends for less exposed occupations like nursing aides were stable and growing. You can't have AI be a nurse's aide. You can't have AI be a doctor. You could maybe take a picture and say, "Hey, what's wrong with me?" And maybe it's okay-ish at that. I wouldn't even trust that still. But you can't have AI replace the physical demand of these jobs. These jobs require hand-on work, hand-on labor. AI cannot take those over. I would much rather have a nurse who went through many years of training and has done it for many, many years than a robot that is still working on being programmed to master everything. Just as my 2 cents. Trade jobs aren't all roses, though. In the Zeti survey, 38% of Gen Zers cited physical labor demands as their biggest hesitation in going totally blue collar. Basically, like, do I want to do physical labor? I don't know. Do I really want to do the physical labor part of things, or do I want to sit at a desk all day? Yeah, I mean, depending on, you want to be able to get your hands dirty and be able to move a lot of things around here and, do a lot of physical lifting and those kind of things. You got to get that kind of, you can't have that kind of hesitation, I should say, I guess. Still, young people remain interested. Brandon Milligan, the chief operating officer at Stratitech Education Group, which operates several skilled trade schools, is seeing a growing student population that includes women, recent high school grads, and even some people switching careers. Overall enrollment was up 7% in July from a year ago. Typically, our students are able to start their education journey. It's very attractive for someone who is not of the mindset to invest in 4 to 5 year pursuing a bachelor's degree and who really wants to work with their hands. And I will tell you this, as someone who is a teacher who asks students all the time about what they want to do after high school, I do always bring up the idea of like, hey, if you don't know what you want to do for high school or after high school, you can take a year off if you want to, but if you don't want to go to public university, trade schools are a huge thing and we have a lot of trade school opportunities in our area. So there's nothing wrong with doing that. I always give students that kind of possibility, like, hey, if you want to go into trade schools, it's only there for a couple years. You can become your own owner at some point in the future, and it's really, really good, and it's a lot more cost effective. So something that's very, very interesting to think about. Their programs, which include HVAC, welding, electrical, and more, cost about $20,000 to $25,000. You get about half of what you get for a 4-year degree. David McLean, 23, has graduated from their welding school in Jacksonville twice with 4 total certifications in welding. He now works as an electrician installing security systems. Starting out, he can get paid $20 to $30 an hour, but rents to $45 with more and more experience. The pay is absolutely amazing and all this kind of stuff. So basically, you're sitting there saying, well, Fridge, I've been listening to you talk for 12 minutes and read an article. What is it that the stock is that you think could do very well? And let me show you the stock I'm looking at. The stock that you will see on my screen is Universal Technical Institute. If you don't know who these guys are, this is who they are right here. I know it might be hard to kind of see here, so I'll read it out really quick. So Universal Technical Institute is a workforce solutions provider of transportation, skilled trades, and healthcare education programs. Its segments include Universal Technical Institute, UTI, not the UTI you're thinking of, but it's the UTI, which is a Universal Technical Institute college. It's trade school. I see ads for them all the time. All those kind of things, and Concord Career Colleges they have here as well. They have 16 campuses located in 9 states and offers a range of degree and non-degree transportation and skilled trades, technical training programs under brands such as Universal Technical Institute, motorcycle mechanics, blah, 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 blah. All these different things here basically to focus on those trade schools, okay? You can get into health, into nursing, into all those different things there. Universal Technical Institute is a trade school that could do really, really well. And taking a look at these charts here, this is me looking at the daily here. Again, as I chart these kind of stocks to look at support and resistance levels here, my charts go off of basically I do 3 fib levels on the weekly, and then I kind of break it down to the dailies, kind of see what my levels of support and resistance are. And what you'll see right now is that it did have some recent pullback here. Earnings didn't seem like they were taken too fondly from Wall Street, but it has since started to get this recovery back up into the 50% retracement from my blue Fibonacci level. If we can break this 27.61 level, our next stop is $30.73. You are looking at hopefully a potential upside of around 15-ish% or so if it's able to break that 27.61 value. Now, again, this is a school that focuses on trade. And as you read from the article, trade school enrollment is through the roof. These guys could be building up new campuses with all the money they get there, and trade schools are always going to be needed. You will never not need to have someone go to trade school for it, especially with this switchover in the labor market. I think with this switchover in the labor market, from it being good to bad because of AI, I think this company can do really, really well. Not financial advice, of course. But again, you could look at buying options here all the way out till April of next year, and they're not super expensive. You can buy it for about $1,000, a deep in the money one if you wanted to, which wouldn't put your break even at anything too crazy. Again, if you bought this for like $1,000 or so, which it would be costing right now, you're looking at a break even of about $27.50, which is basically right up to this level of the 50% retracement level that you're looking at here. So this would be a stock I would really like to get a leap option potentially in. Then if you really wanted to, you could sell some covered calls in the meantime to kind of get a little bit of passive income while you're waiting for this stock to do relatively well. Because again, trade schools aren't going anywhere. And even if this starts to not go your way, they'll have more and more options open up. You can always roll the position out further. I see a lot of very good potential here from Universal Technical Institute. And taking a look at the analysts, they're bringing it as a strong buy right now. Their low is a $36 threshold. Their average is $37.60, and their high is $40 based on these analysts updated about, a couple weeks ago here. But a very top quality company that I think could be a big switchover that could defeat the AI crisis that we're facing in the labor market. These guys have a lot of potential to do really, really well with AI taking jobs that are white collar. These blue-collar jobs are here to stay, and Universal Technical Institute is a company that will be producing a lot of those people. 16 campuses, that's a lot of people enrolling. And again, as we know with trade schools and with public universities, they know how to maximize their revenue and everything else. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how they do here. I'll see if I can get some extra cash available. I definitely want to think about getting into a leap option with the Universal Technical Institute. If I do, I'll make sure to post it on my socials so that way you guys get an update as to where we are going. But thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you did make it this far in the video, make sure that you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications for all future uploads. As always, I hope you guys are making money in the market. This could be the pivotal play for us to defeat the AI labor crisis that we have right now. And as always, I will catch you guys in the next video.